Need today's Chumash. Okay, so today is Wednesday. So with Hashem's help, we're going to continue Moshe having, as I like to say, a heart-to-heart talk with the Jewish people. He doesn't want them to mess up after he passes away. He's not going to be there to intervene. So he's going over, rehashing the history that took place and guiding the future generation not to make the same mistakes and to learn from the past mistakes so that they can be successful in their future. So he, in yesterday's Chumash, very interesting, he recapped and spoke about the sin of the spies. Hashem had wanted them to go straight into Israel, and still the people, Moshe is like, why don't you believe in God? He took you out of Egypt, he took you to the desert, and the people didn't believe in Hashem. What followed that up, as Moshe is continuing to discuss the history with the grandchildren, the children and grandchildren of these people, what continues to happen? So he says the next story. So first he finishes. And your little children that you said they're going to be plundered. You didn't want to go into Israel because your little kids are going to be plundered. They're going to be destroyed. That's what you're afraid of. You said they're going to be destroyed. Your children who did not know on that day, good or bad, it wasn't their fault. Their parents made these terrible decisions. And they decided that they don't want their kids to go in, and they're afraid that their kids will be decimated, and they don't want their kids to go in, and the kids who didn't have really a choice of their own, they were too young, they were under 20 and couldn't make logical decisions. And they're going to be the ones to go into Israel, not you who made the bad decision not to go in. Those kids who you were all freaking out about, actually you're not going to go in, and they're going to be the ones to go in. And I'm going to give it to them, and they will be the ones to inherit the land. So the whole journey that we had, the whole plan that we had, you guys stalled and canceled going in. Fine, you're not going in. You know who's going to go in? Your kids, who you said, how can we go in? Our kids are going to be decimated. They're actually going to be the ones to go in. It wasn't their fault, I guess, that they didn't go in because they didn't know between good and bad. We can't hold them responsible for such a thing. By the way, just interesting. We know in Jewish law, like we know bar mitzvah, you become responsible, but then there are other things which, according to some commentaries, I believe at least some opinions, you're not responsible till 20, and it kind of makes sense because your brain, you're not punished by heaven till a certain age. It's later than bar mitzvah, but your brain is not really fully functioning until you're, I guess 20. It really makes some very much more mature decisions. So they're going to go in. They're not held responsible. The Atem and you guys who didn't want to go in. Moshe says he's recounting the story. Pnu lachem. Turn about, turn around. You're not going anymore into Israel. Usua midbara, and go back into the desert. We meant all the way to the border here. They were by the country of Edom, which was the south of Israel. They were right there. They were going to go right up into Israel. We're going to see as soon as the verse is going to go right through the country of Edom into Israel. But now back up, turn around. Usua hamidbara. Go back into the desert. They had the Tzin, the different deserts, of the Sinai desert, the Tzin desert. Go back. Derech Yamsuf, go back by the way of the Red Sea. Came from the Red Sea. Go back, head back to the Red Sea, and head back to where you came from. Rashi saying here, as I mentioned, that Hashem is going to have them travel north across the width of the land of Edom, directly into Israel. It's going to be a short, straight path, and Edom would have given you permission. Once you guys started sitting, the Edomites did not give you permission, and you had to go all the way around that country and go in a much longer way. Okay, and go back. There was, like, as far as I understand the terrain, I was trying to figure it out exactly. I don't have an exact map of it, but there was a mountain called Har Seir, Mount Seir, the Seir Mountains. It seems like it was a very large terrain of mountainous terrain. And instead of having the Jews now just go beeline straight through Edom to Israel, they're going to have to go to the south of those mountains and hang out and travel over there. You know what, let me show you a picture of how they travel I know always like pictures a lot of times very good. Let me see if I can share with you here the map. Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring up the map for you so we can see where it was. I didn't spend that much time, but a little bit of time trying to really, get the map down. I'm a little confused. I'm not sure about one or two things, but let's see if I could, hang on 1 second. Let me see if I can pull it up for you we'll look at the map. We'll see on the map, basically more or less what's going on over here. Let's see if we can bring it up. Okay, hold on one second, and you'll see the picture here. Okay, here's our WhatsApp group. Is that it? No, that's not it. Sorry. Okay, one second. Let me get it for you guys. Hang on. I have to post the picture on our group. Sorry. Here we go. Okay. All right, it's on the group now. Okay, so you should be able to see it. Let me go down. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is a picture of the whole traveling of the Jews. So if you'll see, I mean, you see the land of Canaan. And then if you go down south of Canaan, you'll see Edom on the right. And you'll see a little stopping point there called Kadesh. And they were in Kadesh, and they were supposed to go straight into Israel. I'm not sure what this means. I don't know why. It seems to me, I'm not 100% sure why they never could just go from the south of Canaan and go straight in. It seems here somehow Edom, they could have just gone straight through Edom and maybe along Edom's border and gone into Israel. This is what Rashi's saying. But because of the sin of the spies, they backtracked. And you'll see they went literally south, straight back south. And then they wandered next to the Sea of Reeds over there, kind of heading towards Egypt even. You see Chatzeros, Kiryas Hataiva, but by Chatzer, you'll see they headed towards that direction and literally spent, 38 years just walking around, roaming around in the desert. Like you'll see all those little circles next to each other in the middle of the map. That's where it was. So somehow next to Edom, there was a mountainous terrain called Mount Seir. And near that area, near those mountains, that mountainous terrain is where the Jews are going to be spending time, not going into Israel, but instead hanging out over there. Anyway, let's go back to the Chumash, see if we can continue inside with the verses. Let's go back inside. So Rashi says they were south to the mountains of Seir. That was between, that was in between going to Israel and the Red Sea, and they're going to be going over there on the south side of the mountains, heading towards Egypt and back. So that's what Moshe told them. Your kids are going to go up, you're not going to go back, and that's it. So what did the Jews say back? Verse 41, Mem Aleph. Vatanu v'toimeru. And you responded to me when I told you, that's it, you're not going up now. Chatanu Elah, you told me Chatanu Hashem. Oh no, we made a big mistake. We sinned to Hashem. Anachnu nala, we're going to go up now. No, we changed our mind. We're going to go up. V'nochamnu, and we're going to fight them. We're not scared anymore. I guess the rebuke, when you tell somebody no, all of a sudden they want yes. We're going to do everything Hashem said. And they even got their weaponry ready. And they equip themselves and they ready themselves to go out. As Rashi says, Tahinu is the word of getting ready, and they got ready to go. They all armed up, they suited up after Hashem told them they're not to go, and they said they're ready to go now. Hashem said to me, God said to Moshe, tell them, don't go up now, and do not fight them. Because God said, I am not with you. I'm not in your midst. Lest you'll be devastated, lest you be struck down before your enemies. As Rashi says, there will not be a going up. Don't go up. It won't be go up. It will be your downfall, actually. You'll be going down. You won't be going up. But verse 43, and Moses is telling the Jews, and I spoke to you, and I told you what Hashem said. You didn't listen to me. But Tamru, SP Hashem, and you opposed, and you rebelled. As Pi Hashem against the mouth of Hashem, v'tazidu v'talu ahara, and you acted brazenly, you acted wickedly, and you went up on the mountain. So after I told you not to go, you went up. And the Amorites who were then living there, Hayoshe Bahar, who was living there on the mountain, Ahu, and that mountain, the Kraschem, they came out against you. Yirdefu Eschem, and they chased you. Ka'asher ta'asendu hadvoirim. They chased you like bees chase you. V'yaksu eschem, and they smit you. They crushed you. The Seir at Harama, from the Idi called Seir until Harama, and the Jews who went up didn't listen to Moshe. Now, as I remember, somebody shared this once. He said it's all timing. Everything in life is timing. Had they gone when they were supposed to go, they would have walked in no problem and destroyed the enemy. The enemy would have run around away from them. But now Hashem said not to go in, and now is when they're going in, and that's what happened. That's the story, that they ended up getting devastated. So Rashi says, what does this mean? That they smit you like bees? Why is the Torah saying that the Jews were attacked like bees? And Rashi says something very interesting. He says, you know what happens when a bee stings you? You get hurt, but the bee dies. He says, any of the Amorites, the Amori, that killed a Jew, and they were successful in killing Jews, they themselves died on the spot, on impact. As soon as they killed the Jew, they themselves ended up dying. So they were successful in killing the Jewish people. Whoever, God forbid, killed a Jew ended up right away dying immediately. And you sat and you cried before Hashem. And Hashem didn't listen to your voices. And you were there crying. And Rashi says you almost made God look bad. You made him look like he was cruel. You're crying and crying. It was like your own fault. You did this whole problem. You did this whole thing. And you made that, Hashem is merciful. God tried. And when he wanted to go in, you didn't want to go in. And all of a sudden you're going in when he doesn't want to go in. And Hashem would not listen to you. So you actually, guess in a sense, made Hashem look bad. And you sat, as I showed you, the city Kadesh, which was at the border of the Edomites. You ended up right after the disaster, Yamim Rabim, for many days. Rashi says 19 of the 38 years that you had to wander in the desert, you sat in that one place. As the days that you dwelled in general. So they were wandering for 19 of the years, and all those, I'll just go back to the map for a second. Going back to the map for 1 second that we had. So you'll see here that there's a city called Kadesh. It's to the right next to Edom. So he's saying there, I think even I saw somewhere like Risma or something. Ritma, no, over there in Kadesh, you lived there for 19 years. I guess after the calamity, after the disaster, the spies, and then the rest of 19 years, you traveled the other, whatever it was, 18, I forget, Rashi made the calculation, how many stops it was, you ended up staying over there. Back to our Chumash. The Neifen V'nisa Midbara, and then you traveled to the desert. Derech Yamsuf, by way of the Yamsuf, you traveled back towards the Red Sea. Kasher Dibra Hashem Eloi, like Hashem told me. Nasav as Har Seir Yamim Rabim, you circled around that mountain called Mount Seir for many days in that area. And that is where the Jewish people lived and dwelled during the years of the sin. So it ended up backfiring, and the Jews actually ended up trying to walk in, go into Egypt after they were told no, and it didn't. And then Moshe tells them this is what ended up happening.